Hello, my name is Adelia Rahmadina. I'm from Statistic Class B, and today in this video, I will be explaining about how I conduct statistical analysis using Smart PLS. So, to begin, here is my research model. And as you can see, the independent variables are digital value and hedonic value, and hope serve as the mediating variable. And lastly, commitment is the dependent variable. And also, this study includes 7 hypotheses. Hypothesis 1 and 2 propose that digital value and hedonic value significantly affect hope. Hypothesis 3 and 4 proposes that digital value and hedonic value significantly affect commitment. Hypothesis 5 states that hope has a significant impact on commitment. Hypothesis 6 and 7 suggest that hope mediates the relationship between digital value and commitment, between hedonic value and commitment. And so, Smart PLS actually includes 2 models, the outer model and the inner model. The outer model encompasses the validity and reliability tests, with the validity test further divided into convergent validity and discriminant validity. The inner model includes the coefficient of determination, F square, path coefficient, and Q square. So now, I will be inputting the dataset that I have gained into Smart PLS. And what we are going to do with that is we create the project first. I'm going to name it the Statistic ALP. Now that we have already created the project, we are going to input the data. So this data actually includes 168 respondents with necessary adjustment made accordingly so that the Smart PLS can proceed with the data. Okay, now that we have input the data, the first step is to draw the model as per the research framework. So here is the research framework, and we are going to click this new path model and name it the research model for this case. And then we are going to select this variable and put it here. This one is the independent variable, which is the digital value. This one, this tree here, is the hedonic value. And this one is the hope as the mediating variable. And this one is the commitment as the dependent variable. Now that we have input all the data here, we are going to draw the arrow according to this research framework. We're going to connect this here, and also this here, and finally this two here. And now that we have already connected all of it, we are going to rename this one according to the variable. So this one is digital value. This one is hedonic value. This one is hope. And this one is commitment. Now that we have renamed all of it, we are going to go and run the PLS algorithm by clicking this calculate button and click the PLS algorithm. And then we are going to go and start calculation. So now we are going to examine the outer loading here, and as we can see, we are going to examine this because we want to assess the convergent validity. And all the outer loading here is green, meaning that the value are all greater than 0.7, indicating that the data is valid. And then next we are going to go to construct reliability and also validity. And in here we can see that the AVA values are all above 0.5, meeting the requirement for convergent validity. Additionally, both the composite reliability and the Kornberg alpha is also exceeding 0.6, meaning that all variables in this research are reliable. And then we go to the discriminant validity section. The Farnell-Locker criterion shows that the factor loading are higher than the correlation with other latent construct. In the cross-loading result, the highest values are aligned with their respective construct. As for the HTMT, all values are below 0.9, meaning that it is all okay. So this means that all indicators and variable pass both validity and also reliability checks, allowing us to proceed to the inner model assessment. So the first element of the inner model is the coefficient of determination, or the R-square. So by clicking the R-square here, we can see the proportion of variance in the dependent variable explained by the independent variable. The result shows a value of 0.307 for hope, meaning the digital value and hedonic value explain 30.7% of the variance in hope. For commitment, the value is 0.552, indicating that 55.2% of its variance is explained by digital value, hedonic value, and also hope. Next, we move on to the F-square test. By clicking here, we can see that the F-square test actually determines the effect size of the independent variables on the dependent variables. An F-square above 0.02 is considered small, 0.15 is moderate, and 0.35 is large. In the result, the digital value effect on commitment is negligible because it is below 0.02. The hedonic value on commitment is small because it is above 0.02, and the hope's effect on commitment is large because it is above 0.35. And meanwhile, the digital value on hope is actually also negligible because it is below 0.02, and the hedonic value effect on hope is moderate because it is above 0.15. So at this point, the inner model is mostly complete, but it still needs the path coefficient and also the Q-square. Now, we will proceed to do bootstrapping by clicking back here to the research model, click calculate, and then go to bootstrapping. And in here, we're going to go and click start calculation. So bootstrapping actually helps determine the direction of relationship in the research. We begin by clicking the total indirect effect. And in here, the path coefficient and relationship among variables are shown. In the original sample column, the positive values indicates positive relationship between variables. We also use this output to evaluate the hypothesis via the t-statistic and also the p-value. The t-statistic must be greater than 1.96 and the p-value must be below 0.05. Now, let's go back and see the hypothesis that we have made previously. So, based on this criteria, hypothesis 2, 5, and 7 are supported as their t-statistic exceeds 1.96 and p-values are below 0.05. Meanwhile, hypothesis 1, 3, and 6 are not supported. Next, we will examine the effect of mediating variable by selecting the specific indirect effects here. So in here, we can see that hypothesis 7 is supported because it shows that the t-statistic is above 1.96 and p-value below 0.05. This indicates that hope mediates the relationship between hedonic value and commitment. Finally, we will be conducting the Q-square test, also known as blindfolding, to assess the predictive relevance. We do that by going back to the research model, click calculate, and also the blindfolding. And in here, we're just going to go and adjust it to 5, and then start calculation. And then now we are going to go and select construct cross-validated communality. And the Q values for all variables are all above 0, which indicates that the model has good predictive power. So that concludes my explanation, and that is the end of this video. Thank you for your attention.